Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so I did not record my Alliance War opening because, well, I decided to, well, at least for now, stop recording them because there's realistically nothing that I actually open from them that people want to watch. Only things that there are giving it some 6-star shards, which I'm saving for the next featured, and then the Nexus crystals I'm kind of keeping as well at the moment and just hoarding them. But I did hit the jackpot in terms of getting the class catalysts needed for my next rank 5 champion. And I kind of had a little inkling that I will, because as often in this game, you often tend to get the class that you want the least. And for ages, I have been saying that when it comes to getting rank 5 champions, I do not really want to get mutant catalysts or mutant rank up gems from previous EOP rewards or whatever it was, because in mutant class at the moment, well, mutant class has been kind of abandoned for about a year, and there is not a clear cut prestige play to do in mutant class to begin with. And also, I kind of feel at large they are losing some of their importance, but I'm not saying that mutant class is bad by any means. There are obviously plenty of good champions. As somebody who primarily focuses on like Alliance War and Battlegrounds, there are far fewer champions to be like hyper excited to take to rank 5. And as soon as I farmed the 3 mutant catalysts needed, obviously I need to make a decision which way I'm gonna go with. And pretty much all 6 champions you see at the top row are the main contenders: Archangel, Domino, Omega Red, Kitty Pryde, Bishop, and Havoc. And Havoc is probably the kind of like surprise addition there. Now, my brain obviously tells me to go for Kitty because, well, it's Kitty. She is arguably the best mutant in the game, one of the best champions in the game. And she also, for time being, has the highest prestige, which, of all of these champions listed here. But realistically, neither one of these champions would likely remain in my top 5 prestige champ list for too long because, well, yeah, again, mutants, aside from like Namor, who's in like top 15, have fallen below the desired prestige threshold. But still, Kitty is likely the best mutant. Will work in more metas in Alliance War, will work in more metas in Battlegrounds, but I have never really kind of hidden my own relationship with Kitty. I am able to play her relatively well, but it just doesn't quite click with me. And there is a champion among these top 6 that does. A champion that I took to rank 4 a while back, completely randomly, not even really desiring to do so, just because I got a mutant rank 3 to 4 gem. Was literally the only reason why I took that champion up. And he surprised me, and he's been awesome because I have been using him in wars now and then, and I have been using him in battlegrounds now and then. And I think if I would take that champion to rank 5, there would be potentially some interesting interactions or interesting moments. So, anyways, my brain says Kitty, but I'm gonna go with Havoc because I don't know. I kind of like the guy. I really do. I don't know what's the best way to explain it, but I do kind of like the guy. I have all the catalysts necessary right here, right now. And I'm going to upgrade my Havoc. That is it. That's going to be a rank 5 Havoc that people will have to deal with. Haha. So we're going to give him all the ISO, and then I'm going to bring him quickly in like a Realm of Legends match or something to remind some people who might not be aware what is, objectively the most effective Havoc damage rotation in kind of like a casual fight. And there are obviously cheese lanes, cheese path, cheese things that you can do with Havoc. And if you synergize him up, he can become much more dangerous as well. I think he has crucial synergy with Wasp that lets him build up his plasmas much quicker on parries, if I'm not mistaken. Wasp or Captain America. That's kind of like one of the main ones that he can have. But, he has a few others, which, I will experiment with in due time. But for now, this is a rank 5 6-star Havoc right here. So his PI at the moment is 21,750. I have to give him some sig stones. Luckily, I hadn't sigged up any mutants in a while, so I do have the mutant sig stones required to take him to sig 200 as well. So he was sig 120 naturally. We're going to change that. We're going to increase his sig stone. His awakened ability is nice, is not necessarily a must-have, but higher sig does help him kind of ramp up quicker. So, with that, we can jump in Casual Realm of Legends and go ahead. Additionally, he is going to be a Tactic Defender as well, which is quite cool for the Alliance Wars. So, he is going to be one of those champions that gains a ton of power gain with prowess and stuff like that. So, he will definitely have his use for Alliance War defense as well, at the very least for upcoming couple of seasons. To be fair, so would have had Bishop and Kitty Pryde had I chosen to rank up them. So the best way to play Havoc typically is get to a level 1, launch that level 1, that will do very little damage, but once you do so, I did make a mistake, I should not have dropped a heavy attack yet. You do want to build up some charges here. And we're going to pretend that Winter Soldier has a level 3 that I should be aware of. So we're running with 6 plasmas at the moment. We should probably try and up that. But you guys are going to notice that by the time I'm going to get to level 3, lots of Winter Soldier health is already going to have, well, already will have disappeared. So then I'm just going to wait for my next plasma, because we have 9 now on him. And this should do some decent amount of damage. Because we did have some prowess active before. And that is 200k damage there. So that in many cases would be enough to, well, this level 3 rotation would be enough to kill virtually anybody in Battlegrounds, which is kind of like one of the main points. And now let's test out how his level 2 works. Well, nearly. We only got 1 crit. Nearly. That's fine though. Just gonna finish beating him up. So obviously this isn't gonna be the most impressive fight. I should have just built up feedback the second time and worked with that. But that first level 3 rotation would work quite well for Battlegrounds. And is there any good synergy that we can use, Havoc? Okay, so let's try out a few synergies. So let's bring in Mangog. I believe that should be quite helpful. And then also, well, we're not going to make him a horseman this time around, but I do know that he has quite cool synergy with Mangog. Should be quite here. Right. Where's that ugly chicken? So this synergy for Havoc gives him 5% combat power rate and 20% ability power rate. Sweet. And then we need Wasp as well. Deals energy damage to the opponent. Okay, so we're gonna bring Wasp. Should have one lot somewhere around here. Goes in charge after each special attack. That's fine. And let's bring in, I suppose, Night Thrasher. Do I have one ranked up? Slightly. And why not? Let's just go for the last one as well and give Havoc that Mr. Sinister synergy. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens this time around. But now I'm actually quite excited to test this out in Battlegrounds. I do need to give my Havoc some sort of relic as well. So again, the entire plan is... Oh, well, this time around I actually don't need to throw a level 1. I just need to parry a bunch at the beginning. Okay, here we go. We got 4. That's gonna burst in a second. We're gonna have to rebuild these. Put 4 back on. Sweet. And we got 9 and everything sorted out. So Winter Soldier is gonna go from 82%. Well, this damage shouldn't really change from the previous time around. But again, this should be enough to make sure that Battlegrounds matches are over. Or at the very least, most of them. Now we got Plasma Detonation there again. We're just gonna go for level 2. Hopefully this... there's no crits. Go. Come on. Oh, that should be it. So that's Havoc. Okay. There are obvious cheese scenarios with Havoc as well, though. In case you guys didn't know. One of the funniest things you can do with Havoc these days, and this is something that could be very, very fun, is if you find yourself a Shuri and decide to use your Havoc against the Shuri, you need to hit that Shuri a few times, and then let that Shuri hit you 10 more times. And then, obviously, you can enjoy the healing and everything else, but Shuris typically tend to kill themselves quite quickly against Havoc. That's a neat Easter egg in case it ever comes handy for you guys. But there is, I believe in Act 7, I think it was 7.3. 7.34, maybe? Did I guess correct? No, I did not. 1 second, let me find that. Energy. 723. I was very close. You need 723. We are at 7. Well, it wasn't that close. And honestly, most of Act 7 has kind of blurred together for me. It's very, very similar. But this should be quite fun, if I'm not mistaken. So what we were looking for is Energy Adoption Ice or Energy Adoption Lightning. We have both of them, so that's going to be even more fun. But if you want to see something very, very, very fun with Havoc, then take him to Energy Adoption Lanes. And yeah, just have fun. The more debuffs you kind of cram on yourself. Keep in mind, Havoc has quite high energy resistance, so in most cases, he's not going to take any damage. And there you go. That's the fight. Obviously, we can do this better. Right, and how do we do this better? Is we don't really hit the opponent. because we don't really have to. Because we also get those debuffs inflicted on us through block. So we are about to do this fight. Not only Havoc here is tanking and healing back all the chip damage, he also finished this Act 7 fight with a relatively sizable health pool in 0 hits in 30 seconds. Biggest hit, it says it was 716. Well, that's probably the detonation of each individual, but yeah, there you go. Those are some of the fun things you can do with Havoc. Now, again, keep in mind, I'm not saying that Havoc is better than Kitty. He isn't. He's not. Kitty is the better champion. Probably should have gone with Kitty, but I like Havoc. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about